Right then, this is a quick walk around video on a bit of a windy day, I'm afraid, so I'm hoping you can hear me. This is for a 1.8 SR Civic Tourer manual car, finished in black, which looks fantastic on these cars. Car's covered 81,000 miles, 64 plates as you can see. I'm just going to go around the car for you, as I always do. Front of the car, very clean indeed. Lights and lenses clear and intact, no cracks, condensation there. Bonnet for a car of its age and black, actually really good. Any stone chips, very light indeed. Near side of the car, very smooth down the panels, can't see any obvious car parking dinks there. Near side front alloy, generally actually very good, because these can pickle quite badly, but you've got a tiny little bit on the outside edge, but generally very good. Many panels again, very nice. This rear alloy again, very good. Generally, just two of the spokes you can see there. They've got a little bit of pickling. You could get them done easily because you can get the individual spokes done, but you know, it's an 11-year-old car now, and we pick up on any blemishes where we can. Around the back again, all nice and clean and tidy. Offside the car, driver's side, again, really smooth in the panel work. Very, very clean. Offside rear alloy, actually very good. And then final alloy, again, very good. Just a couple of very minor little blemishes on a couple of the spokes, but generally it's in really lovely order for its age. Let's come to the back of the car. Absolutely covered boots in the Civic Tourers, and it is beautifully finished back here as well. And this one's been kept superbly well. It's coming to the back, this is where kids sit, so normally quite heavily used. Yet this one, as you can clearly see, it's been kept really, really nicely. Okay, the front and the passenger side, again, all very nice. Full set of mats in the car. Passenger seat there in very nice condition. Finally come to the driver's door card, all really nice. See the footwell area there. Driver's seat again, for the age of the car, really good. Just the normal bolster way we slide in and out, but miles better than most of its age. Inside the car now, engine's running, so the dash is illuminated. Lovely interior on these. Sorry, a bit of a glitch in the camera there. I'm going to come back across. Sat nav, as you can see, working exactly as it should in the car. Pop the car into reverse with that lovely clear parking camera, and that complements the front and rear parking sensors. Coming down the dash, it's been kept really, really nicely. Just to pan in, 81,302 miles. Engine's running. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all, and that's the view you get as a Honda Civic driver. I maintain that is the best dashboard anywhere in its class for loads of reasons. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, all here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda Civic 1.8 SR Tourer. Car's registered DA64XEO, and mileage at the start of the road test is 81,302 miles. The reason we do these videos, as I say, and every one of them, is just to ensure that if anyone's online looking at any of the cars we're selling, they get to see that very car advertised actually in operation. The reason we've always felt it important is because, unfortunately, like lots of people, we've been to see cars which have looked absolutely fine in a photograph or description, but only to get there and find out when you drive the car it's got a pretty obvious fault that shows up straight away, and that can be really frustrating if you've obviously driven any kind of distance. We also do the road test on these very, very quiet roads in this beautiful part of Gloucestershire. And this actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on, and the hope is, of course, that this video will be representative of what you'd feel yourself if you were doing the driving. So come to the car, twist the key, engine whirs into life, it settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. Temperature gauge running at a third, which is exactly where it's meant to be on a Honda vehicle. Honda, without doubt, build the best four-cylinder engines in the world. They're famed for their reliability and longevity. They also use cam chains, not cam belts, so nothing to worry about there. But more than that, it's just actually how it drives. It's just such a lovely, smooth, slick engine. I'm in 5th gear now, 30 miles an hour. It's so tractable, even from kind of low speeds. It can pick up. It doesn't fluff or fluster. But when you do extend the engine, albeit quietly, you get that lovely muted induction noise coming through the car, which has always got a kind of a sweet edge to it, as all Honda engines do. It's a lovely piece of engineering, really, really is. Engine then feeds through into the clutch and gearbox. Clutch on the car bites exactly where it's meant to. Smooth on operation. And then you come to this manual 6-speed gearbox, which Honda again are famed for, and for good reason. I mean, when you change gear in a Civic, it's something you actually will enjoy doing rather than having to do it. Positioning on the gear lever is perfect. As it slides into gear, you've got a positive action, a mechanical feeling action. You can feel it actually engage. It's absolutely beautiful. All the more remarkable because it, like most modern cars, is cable operated. So there's no direct connection as such with linkage between it and the gearbox. And unfortunately, in lots of cars, that means you end up with a really kind of vague, lifeless gear change, which I can't abide. But that feels pretty much exactly as it would have done when it was new. There's zero wear in it, but you never really get it on these. It's a robust setup, to say the least. Then we come on to what I've always maintained is my favourite part of any Civic, which is the steering and the chassis. This is one of the very few cars that can actually achieve what the manufacturer claims, because quite often the manufacturer will say, yeah, it's comfortable, but also engages with the driver, and it's utter tosh. It either does one or the other. So if you get a car that rides very smoothly, like this one does, quite often the handling's very lollopy and vague. Or if you go for something that's much more engaging, you end up with a brittle, hard, unforgiving ride. The ride in this is incredibly smooth and comfortable. No one would complain about the ride in it. It's that nice. You also have the option with this particular car, top of the range one, where you can change the rear suspension settings. I'm currently on normal. Press the button there, I go to comfort, and it really does soften it up, and dynamic, which firms it up. But you can feel a difference. The flip side to the chassis is corners like that. Steering, which is beautifully weighted, very direct and accurate, comes alive the more you push on, but works beautifully with the chassis, so it flows through corners with enthusiasm. So if you really enjoy your driving still, you'll love the Civic. It's just a really nice car to drive. It's as simple as that. Worth pointing out, no clonks, rattles, anything from underneath the vehicle. Steering on the car tracks absolutely dead straight, and there's no vibrations from it at this speed or any speed actually up to the legal limit. Brakes on the car, I'm going to leave it a little bit late to brake for this junction, but they're fantastic. It's what I'm looking for is that kind of, when you first hit the brake pedal, any kind of pulsing or vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, and there's absolutely nothing at all. So all in very good order there. And then finally we come inside the car. The first thing you notice when you get in the Civic, you've got a really good driving position, excellent seats, everything's just exactly as you'd hope it would be. Then you start to notice things that aren't there, and that, what I mean by that is absence of creaks and rattles in the interior. And this is where the Civic is beautifully put together. Quite a lot of their competitors, which, some of the upper echelon of build quality apparently, can be quite creaky by this age and mileage, but this is beautifully done. It also happens to have, in my personal opinion, and it's only an opinion, the best dash design in its class by country mile. Most, not all, but most of its cars in its class, of this age certainly, are basically you could be in any of them. There is a template. You just get a binnacle there and a centre stack here, and all they are kind of variations on the same theme. The Honda dares to be different, but not just for difference sake, and that's what I love about it. It's so you as the driver operating the car benefit from what they do. So what they've done is most of this, because it works, is kept the same in the centre stack, albeit as Honda do, laid it out really nicely. Sat nav working perfectly, dual zone climate control system, and that pumps out lovely cold air, by the way. All the switchgear has that lovely high quality damped feel that you get from all the Honda switchgear on cars. Heated seats, again, working absolutely perfectly as well. But what I've always loved about the Civic is you've got this two-tier design. So basically the upper deck, which is easier to see, is the stuff you're going to look at most commonly. So it'll be things like your information screen up here. So if I press things like your fan speed or change your radio, you get a little display there, but a much bigger one up higher, which is, as I said, easier to take in when you're driving along. But the gauge we should all look at most regularly, of course, is our speed. And there it is, all by itself, white on black, digital display, nothing to take your eyes off it in any way. It basically means I can drive along now, I can look at the lorry coming around the corner, the little chaps there, I can look for pedestrians, cyclists, horses, whatever happens to be, but at all times I can keep my eye on my speed. It's simply genius, it really is. Down below that, mounted in through the steering wheel, you can see very clearly, you've got your rev counter flanked by your temperature and fuel gauges. It's a brilliant design, which just happens to look fantastic in my eyes. The point of the video, as I said at the start, is just to pick up any issues. There's nothing. It drives absolutely beautifully, and it's why these are sought after and why they're dearer than their competitors, because they're more practical, more reliable, better built, just nicer, simple as that.